where we're going to play for the first time to the Stanley Parable. I've heard good thing about the game, but I also heard that it's the kind of game that can like kind of make you feel depressive at some point. So like, we'll see how it goes. I'll put my face here. I don't know yet if that's going to be covering anything important in the game. We will see how this goes. And it's the first time we play the game, so we're going to say to the game that it is. But I'm not sure if it changed much into how the story goes. Do you guys see everything? I'll go for that, I think. You guys see well onto your screen. I see well onto my screen. Let's go. And I don't know how much like shadows are important into this game. We are... It's 9:27 a.m. Up. I am a bit disappointed that they don't just pick that up onto your own computer. You know? An easy pick. And accessibility setting can be accessed from the main menu. Okay. If, like, you need them. I don't think we'll need them. Begin the game. I think in this game, you're working as Stanley into a computer place. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
We have our own office. It's kind of nice.
Job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that
I really feel like it's an understatement.
As though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Well, therefore it's not so bad.
And then one day,
I don't know when Stanley touched grass, but it's fine.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour.
He did not receive
when
order.
He realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete
The company
isolation.
shut down and you're the only one
Something
that didn't
was
get the
very
notice.
clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Okay. Can I play with something? I can click. That's luck.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The computer is open. Well,
No
the
matter
computer
how
is
hard
not
Stanley
open anymore.
looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Meeting room. Yeah, we just shut the computer when we click on them, sadly. That looked like a meeting room somehow. I am gonna get lost in this. I'm pretty sure some people have played games like this, like Super Liminal. I'm
When
definitely
Stanley
gonna get
came
lost
to
in
a
there.
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Good.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I decided to be like against orders, but that's we'll see how much it cost us.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It
Is
had
this the
really
meeting
been
room?
worth the detour after all. But eager to get
Wait!
back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yo, this is sus.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Thank you. Here. I cannot be the only one that just like
Look,
did not
Stanley,
listen to
I think
shit.
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize
Sure.
that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
I
but
can't
the
jump.
fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What?
Okay.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero
The-
consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
This looks like one of this game
convince you of this, but I really do
that you need to play like 20 times to reach all the endings.
Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm
okay.
on your
This
side.
reminds me of like books of which you are the hero. You know? Yeah, I'm Nordic. I'm from Quebec. It's like it's the north of America.
This is important.
And
Stanley walked
it's not like
red
Nunavut
door.
or anything, but yeah, we're in what we call.
Perhaps you misunderstood.
What?
Stanley walked through the red door.
I'm doing what I want.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley.
You went through the blue one.
You know so badly what's out there. You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've
Yeah.
chosen. Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished.
Did I
building
reach
this
the ending
section of the
already?
map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures.
But yes.
Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think
If
I
this
put
is
a
one
lot
of the
time
ending, I'm
into
happy. We reached it in what,
did.
like 6
And
minutes?
in the end, it was all for nothing because this is what you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires.
You could make me a
of
bridge
yours.
down there.
What would have made this game better?
Or
What
there.
did you want
There's
to
a third
see?
one.
Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me
There's
take
no
a
skill
stab
tree.
in the dark at a
You
new
can press on
design,
S,
and
it just
can give
makes
me
you
some
go back.
feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Woo!
Okay, I'm going to stop you there.
Please,
Now,
rate your experience.
Tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you
Honestly?
say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real
Okay,
critical
everything is
feedback
equal.
here.
I'm gonna click on this one. Like, it's not extremely hype,
Okay, so we're getting somewhere.
but good enough.
Clearly, there's something here that speaks to you.
We kinda
If I
love
can be
freedom.
honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door
Kind of like
thing
this,
was just a
which
stab
is
in the
really
dark.
nice because your
But I guess
birthday's
you're
on the
into it,
25th.
so let's keep this
Please
party
tell me
train
tab,
rolling.
because you're the second
Here,
one that tells me
based
that
on
in
the
2
data
days.
from your previous playthrough,
I have a
I've
shrimp which
compiled
is
a
born
new
on the
version.
29th.
And to be perfectly candid,
How does it feel
I
to be
think
born
I've
on the
knocked it
20
out of
like
the park with this one. Let's take a look.
in these holiday era? I'm going back there. I want to see if the room is still the same. Yeah.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep
I
walking
came
through
from the
doors?
other side,
Again,
though.
Honest answers, please.
I came from that door last time. Does it keep me motivated? I'll say 3.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Hello.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail.
I have a feeling
It's
that this
very
thing is
meaningful
unending if
game,
you do it.
All about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I love how I hate this.
You heartless bastard.
This is
Did you
freaking
do it because you
stupid.
hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas.
This should be
I can't think
an
of a
objective,
single
right?
thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
Okay.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since
He's
my
a
game
very
was so
bad
awful,
lion.
why don't
Bad
we play
liar.
someone else's game just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This
I kinda
seems
like that
it'll
narrator.
work. Let's give it a shot.
Where is he bringing me? Volunteer.
Ah,
Wyoming.
fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley?
This
What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
reminds me a little
But it
bit.
seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower. Perhaps for some sort of twisted, erotic purpose.
Is
Yes,
it class
that
M
must
and I
be
don't know
what a
it?
fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley.
Woo!
And it seems there's even more.
At least
Come,
there's trees
let's
now.
venture outward and see what else is out there.
He's not giving me a choice at that point. Like, he brings you into another game, but that game is like just railroading. Is that it? Woo! I can kick those cans down, but I don't want it. There's no run button. There's no jump button. You cannot kill yourself by falling down there. Nothing. I would be curious, though, of like seeing how many people reach every endings, if that's the case. Because I don't think the base game like brings you here if you're just following instruction.
No, it can't be.
This place looks good, but I'm not going to follow the main track. I'm going to go there.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off.
Fudge.
Oh, thank goodness.
How dare you?
This call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow.
These are
You just
definitely
go
the kind of game
in
I'm unable to finish, by the way, because there's too much option all over the
heavens,
place.
we avoided it.
I'm just getting lost.
We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here.
John
Let's
Seasley.
find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Like these? Well, he thinks I'm going to check if there is a door somewhere.
I think this will be just the thing.
Oh, no.
Wonderful.
Oh,
See,
no.
this is exactly what I had in
I
mind.
love how I hate
Just
this.
a nice big box for you to run around in. There
I
isn't
don't
any
play- I never
possibility
played that
you could
game.
Get lost here. Now this
Never
is
ever
game
played
design.
Rocket League.
Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly?
One of my brother
do we
really
do
likes
here?
this game,
Let's
though.
see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I
Doing
think
it, sir.
surely we
Doing
must.
it, sir.
Okay, Stanley.
I
here's the
never
ball.
played
Have
Rocket League,
fun.
Tab. My brother loved it. Woo!
What are you doing?
I got lost in that game, too. Why not?
Stanley,
Okay.
don't do that. I can't follow you there.
Uh,
I can't help you.
We
How
both
will you
agree
write a story
that this
without
game
me?
kind of
You
reminds
can't
me a
do
bit
it.
of
You know
Portal,
that.
right?
Stanley, come back.
You ate Rocket League, to be honest? Well, I didn't miss. I could go deeper. Hello? Okay. That is now creepy as fudge. Cannot open anything. These door looks freaking bolted shut. Oh, it's not. Okay. I will laugh my shit out if we end up like still going into the meeting room that was planned at the start of the game at some point. I know there's light. This is definitely where they want me to go, right? Yeah, but I don't think I have a choice here. You love everything about this game. Yeah. Have you played, by the way, if you love this game, Tabs, you surely have already played Portal. That's not a question. Have you played Superliminal? Because there's definitely a vibe here that kind of feels similar. Like, I found this game by looking for games that were similar to Superliminal. I can't interact with shit. Okay.
I wonder what he found. If
I'm
what he
so
wanted
dead.
was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me.
Hey,
Someone
how you
who will
doing,
wrap
Faraz?
everything
It's
up
going
at the
great,
end
wonderful.
To make sense out of the chaos.
How is
and
your
the
Christmas
fear and
Eve
the
treating you? And do you
confusion.
plan
That's
to
who
go
I
and
am.
like reach up for
That
some
is what
family
I
at the
need
end of
to
the
this
day?
world.
Or do you have like a,
Yes, I'll
a
be
Soul
back. There's
Tranquil
no
night?
other way.
Haven't played
Once
Portal,
this
but you've seen
ends,
playthrough.
after
Okay.
it all comes to a close.
Portal
then
at some
I'll be
point
back.
gets a similar vibe. Once you're
The
out
end
of like the
is
early part of the game, but it's more
very
puzzly.
soon.
And
I
Superliminal, oof. Like, go check if it's on sale. It's really in the same genre of that one. Like a narrator that tries to make you learn stuff, you know? So, that was an ending, was it? You're in Victor right now. Oh, friend. How is it? Give me more options.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
We're back at the start.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
So I
he
guess
simply missed a memo.
we finished the first game. So that was it. First playthrough, guys, about 15 minutes, and we did not listen to the narrator at all. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. This one reacts now. Okay. That's a better reaction. It's cool, family. Oh. And, like, it's also challenging because family, I guess. Here. We planned that for after the nap of the kids.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
Okay.
entered the door on his left.
Okay. Let's play another story that time. Here. Hello. Do
Yet
not
there was not a single person here either.
alter without
Feeling a
consulting
wave of
whiteboard
disbelief,
manager.
Stanley decided to go
I
out
can't.
to his
I just
boss's
can't.
office, hoping he might
Right.
find an answer there.
Can I let it ball up inside? Make sure your slide has slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all text. Everyone is unique. You most of all. What's next? Click. Number of slide on this slide. Slide, charts, slide and chart. That is very, very informative. I like that. Rate at which chart on the same slide depict the same information. What do you want in people? Things, money. Woo! The boss appreciation minute. That's great. The top 20 things that you love about your boss. The fact that he gives us so good representation of our work. Okay. Ptosis, clear skin, hope, less hair, comatose. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day. Don't get fired. And let it ball up inside of you. Take it out passive aggressively on other coworker. Resent coworker for not supporting you more. Let it ball up. This is great. This is absolutely great. Like, if you want to have all the best trick to be a good worker, do that. You're a special snowflake. You're my special snowflake. How are you doing, Blake? And also, you got your Christmas gift bunch of
Coming
wires
to a
and your
staircase,
CRT
Stanley walked
and some stuff.
upstairs
That's
to his boss's
great.
office.
Wait, upstairs? I'm gonna downstairs.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
I'm
He
dumb.
considered the
I was not
possibility of
listening to
facing
it.
his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be
Unacceptable.
fired.
I'm running away from
And in
my
such a competitive
responsibility.
economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he
Here we go.
believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy.
The other,
And
I'm
then
there.
something
Okay,
occurred
I'm
to
there, and it's a
Stanley.
Sunday.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Yeah, I'm
All of
freaking
my
stupid. I
coworkers
came here on a
moving
Sunday,
mysteriously
and
out
like
of
nobody's there
existence in a
because it's
single
weekend.
moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
And we're back to
And
the
as
car
Stanley
again.
pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Fudge you!
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
We noticed that.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
No
Were
shit.
they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all
Okay.
too strange. This
Okay,
can't be
okay,
real.
okay. We're gonna try
And
to
at
like.
last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Who really wants a rigged bingo? I mean, everybody wants a rigged bingo.
Found an answer,
like, I could rig it for you,
his
Blake. You know how it
coworkers
works?
weren't actually gone.
You know?
He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't
There we
crazy
go.
after all.
But we offered some
thought to
other
himself,
stuff. We
"I
offered,
suppose I'll wake up soon.
we have
I'll
Fortnite.
have
We
to go
have
back to my
Terraria
boring
at the moment,
real-life
if you want to
job
play with us a
pushing
little bit.
buttons.
We
I
would
may
start a
as
new
well
world
enjoy
with,
this
like,
while I'm
new
still
friends and everything.
lucid. So,
And
imagined himself
we have
flying,
bingo that we had it
began
to them.
gently
And I
float
put
above
some
the
of them
ground.
cheaper because I like them more.
Then he imagined himself soaring
Yeah.
through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he
Okay.
had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
I
And
don't
then
think...
perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
I don't think it's a dream.
One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself
Did I
sooner.
fall asleep on my work?
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
No, I'm fine with that one.
Now the voice was describing
Like,
itself
honestly,
being
it just
considered
makes
by
it so that I don't
Stanley,
have my
who found it
own
particularly
voice speaking in
strange.
my head.
I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts.
No, I'm good.
And while he
Can I
thought
get
it
into
all
the car?
very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that
If I
of
stop
course,
walking, does she
this was not a dream.
keep on speaking?
How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if
Absolutely,
he's
Blake,
asleep, he
but
doesn't
for
have to
me.
take responsibility for himself. Stanley
Here.
is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
I love how the voice is starting
He would
panicking.
prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside
So,
this one.
Do you get
Let
do you
me
get
wake
different
up,
ending every
he thought
time
to
like you
himself.
get out
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
of what the narrator
Let
tells
me go
you?
back to my job. Let me continue
then you
pushing
reset.
the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I have a hard time following instruction, as you can see, because I am doing everything else. Oh, and I'm still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be
I love
real.
how
I must be. Can
they
anyone
play
hear
with
my
the color
voice?
scheme
Who am I? Who am
to
I?
make you feel the emotion that this guy is
And
in, you know?
everything went black.
I like it. Also, you have a new battery for your laptop for university.
This is the story.
So that you
of
can
a
have like
woman
both
named
filled,
Mariella.
or is it because like the old one was really not holding?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man
I died.
who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she
Voice
thought
inside
to
Maria
herself
now?
how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this.
Is there
and
a
in
good
certain
ending?
way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
So,
All of his co-workers were
Yay.
gone.
we're back
What
at the
did it
start.
mean? Stanley
that
decided
time,
to go to the meeting room.
following the
Perhaps he'd
instruction.
simply
And if
missed
you
the
see
memo.
me go against the instruction, let me know, because it's definitely possible that I do it. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I guess maybe there's progress? New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
The narrator does not seem to be agreeing with this as well. So, I'm not sure if I trust that. Bye. Stress for the start of university, not gonna lie. 5 classes. Bro, it's gonna be great.
Hello,
Okay,
and thank you
I'm
for
telling you
playing
though,
the Stanley
5 classes is
Parable
an heavy
Ultra Deluxe.
session.
As
But
may know,
you
the
can do
Stanley
it
Parable was a video game
if
released
you
in
are
2013
working
on
less
home
than
computers.
30 hours, like 15 hours a week.
After receiving
Which I'm not
critical
yeah,
and
it's gonna be the
commercial
case, right?
success, it was
You're gonna be fine.
expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley
Don't do what I
Parable
did.
Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Okay.
The Stanley Parable Ultra
Oh,
Deluxe.
new
features
content as in,
exciting
like,
new content that broadens and expands
Ultra
the world of
Deluxe.
the Stanley
Great.
Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
There's a thing I don't like about what we're doing here.
See what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley
this.
Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds
I am out of
delightful.
doubt
I'm very excited to see the
missing out
thrilling
on a
new
lot
Ultra Deluxe
of
content.
material. Because, like, by taking some doors, I'm
Okay,
closing
so far
others, and
it's
I'm
an
pretty sure.
elevator.
It's one of
Nothing
those, like,
special yet,
book
but I'm
of which
sure
you are
it's
the
just
hero,
beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
where if you go left, you, like, close right. Maybe. And we might have already, like,
Is
closed
it
down more
broken?
than half of the game.
What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere?
I'm okay, I'm okay. This is chill.
There we
Let's-
go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content.
I love that it's,
I've never
again,
been
the
more
same
ready.
wall
Let's
that they
do
were
it.
using outside that they use, like, at the exterior of that thing. You can recognize the texture.
I have to say, initial
You're going to do
impressions
11
of
hours of
Stanley
work.
Parable
Okay, that's fair.
Ultra
That's fair,
Deluxe.
Faris. That's a
Mifflin
decent amount.
tedious. It's as if
Like, I used to do 36
Oh,
with my 5 classes,
let's see the
and I would
content.
not
Give me
recommend
the
that on my
content,
worst
Stanley.
enemy. The jump circle.
All right.
I can't
All
jump.
right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
God. Do I still have my jump if I go there? No. Woohoo! But you have your jumps, but only in that little circle to do not fudge up with the rest of the game. Good job. Can you go in the minus? There was a jump limit.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content.
Bro,
there
like,
has to be something else, right?
Good enough.
Goodness, another elevator.
Good
Stanley,
enough.
I have to
You are
say,
out of my mind.
initial
What do you mean?
impressions
No,
of
no,
this
no, but
game
like,
are not positive.
remember,
It's
it was a
just
good job to
elevators
be a
and jumping.
student.
Is this
and,
what passes for exciting new
you know,
content? If this is new content, then I could
that was
just
not
read
so
you the
bad.
whole dictionary.
I
There's
also
20
don't
hours
have
of new
a
content
mind of
right
my own,
there.
so it's
Hell,
okay.
I could counter 30 trillion.
I have nothing
You
to
could put
lose,
that
you
on the
see?
box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content, and oh wait, there's
Very
more.
good.
Very good. Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see,
The doors
Stanley,
trap you.
This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy
Woo!
dollar. And don't get me started on the level of
Like, I
craftsmanship
mean,
that's
I have
gone into
extra
it.
armor
In fact,
here,
I'm
that's
looking
okay.
right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please
ignore."
ignore."
I've seen that
What
one.
quality assurance department signed off on this?
There's
I'm
also one that is like
infuriated
play a
and I'm
whole
offended.
Tuesday
I
or
intend to
Thursday,
find
something
these
like
people
this.
on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new
No.
content, I'm afraid.
That's
It
fair.
could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me.
But once again, we're gonna try to listen to
together like
all the
always.
the hoarder
What do
he
you
gives
say,
me
friend?
because I fudged up again. Yep, we're out. Oh. Oh, this changed. Woohoo! Okay.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Is the vent closing down behind me? No, it's not. Good. Do I get out of that place by the vent? Loading.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to
This
be? Well, it got me
definitely
thinking about the past and how
feel
much better the Stanley Parable used
like
to
those
be.
books of which you
So
are the
I
hero.
made something special and tucked it away here
Yeah,
where the game's
I know,
developers
Faraz.
won't find it.
Plus streaming.
Just our little secret. Take a look. I
Yeah.
call it
But like my mind
the
is still fine,
memory
right?
Zone. It's
Though
where
I'm gonna
I've
have
been
a good
storing
8th
all
month where I can take care of my
favorite
shrimps.
memories so I can relive the peak experiences
Here?
of my life.
The
whenever
memory
I want.
zone.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't
I
the
feel
memory
like
zone
this
remind
would
you of
feel
how
better
wonderful Stanley Parable was
if I
before
did,
it was
like, the
sullied with
normal
a
game
cheap
once.
re-release. Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then,
Emo?
video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
Not really. 2013? Not really, dude. Like, people were already selling
Over
whores
here
for like
is where I keep
$10.
Reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James
Destructoid.
Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created."
Oh, I looked myself
Did you
out.
hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley
Yeah, and
Parable
that,
was.
Faraz, and that.
It was
You say
literally
15
every
hour, you know,
game
like
ever
I have
created.
I have
It was
528
Skyrim, it was
videos to
Persona
edit
3,
at the
It was
moment.
all of them, and now
Shorts.
it's nothing.
A little more because
It's
I
no
did
games
some
at
extra
all.
yesterday.
It isn't even the Stanley
Yep.
Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Memory zone maintenance, okay. Person of the year, Stanley.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most
I am for now not a
surprising
fan
and
of the extra
rewarding
content.
choices I've ever been confronted with in a game.
But I
9
would
out
get
of
that
10.
humor
Don't you
better
get
if
it,
I played
Stanley?
like the game
game
normally, I
was
guess.
Perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of
Yeah?
time collecting
You're so
dust
sorry.
in the
You
hallowed
should.
hall of beloved video game memories.
Yeah? Oh, wait. And now I can go to maintenance?
These were simpler times,
Yeah.
Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
It really feels like
What's this?
a
What's down here? Oh,
Steam
no.
reviews.
God,
Steam
no.
review.
Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game
I
distributor.
feel like this
I
game
haven't
must
looked
have
at
been
these in
trashed
years. I can't
by
even
Steam
imagine
review.
what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh, clearly not. Okay.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to
Full
full
completion.
completion.
The narrator is obnoxious and
unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than
I-
entertaining. Unfunny. I'm not
I
trying
like
to
that
be
they are
funny.
kind of
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley
know,
Parable,
self-deprecating-
but the game is already
deprecating,
such a
it's
densely
fine.
layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
And I don't know who they paid to be their voice actor, but it definitely works.
Okay, let's see what this one says.
The game is good. It becomes repetitive
Well,
and
the
boring,
idea
falls
for the game
despite
is
all
good.
the narrative ending.
For someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast.
Thought-provoking, but
Preachy?
you will get the idea.
Stanley,
It tries to
I'm not
communicate pretty
preachy,
fast.
am
And,
I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
oh, absolutely, but that's
This
fine.
is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's
I would
dialogue
play
as
this
being
game
rather
in, like,
terse
1.5
to begin
speed.
with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it, well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
There must be some positive one as well, like people that felt like their life was
I let
changed.
these people down.
But
perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
hello.
What's this one got to say?
I guess it's supposed to be a parable of something, but listening to that patronizing voice droning on
can catch up with his long-winded
with anything, so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanation of what's happening.
Skip button.
Okay, cool.
A skip button.
A skip button. Yeah, I kind of agree.
Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
It couldn't,
What if
right?
it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record? Only positive reviews of the Stanley parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Meh.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue.
For
full of
sure.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless
I have a
display of
big
self-absorption, it's
belief that
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer
I'm
and
gonna
longer.
miss
That
out
last
on
one was,
something
well,
important.
I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any... Stanley! Stanley!
I'm playing
please don't push the
Walking
button
Simulator
again.
without
It's been
us requesting.
12
That's what I'm doing at the
hours.
moment, fast. But like, it's
You've just been
yeah, it's
frozen
what
there.
it is, friend.
I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really...
Isn't it the kind of game you like?
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
You're
Oh, my
back.
goodness. I have someone to
If
talk
I click
to
again, I think he dies.
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just
Why is everything
how
dark,
it's
by the way?
always been, right?
The door
Me
disappeared.
talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button.
I don't know
That's
how
what
much he
I'm
rambles.
realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed them.
That's fine. It looks fun, but you're kind of doing other shit on the side. This is fair.
Hello,
This is fair.
It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for
I
you.
guess
To
we are
begin with,
supposed to
there
die
is
by
only
clicking.
regret.
The time on the clock is not right. Why did they ask me for time if they're not doing it? And yes, okay. So now the narrator seems to be dead. And am I if I click again? Woo! Okay, what's happening? Is that... No door seems to have shown up behind. I'm going to click on this again.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth.
I'm
and
okay
said,
with this shit, okay?
"Entertain us." It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic... The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
How many times do you have to click on this?
The end is never the end.
Again? Oh. Can I skip once more? Before I try to leave this, I don't have a choice anyway. G tripping? Yeah. Okay, it starts to come down to a thing. And this place is going to open soon. And the narrator seems to be dead. I kind of like that. I feel like we're getting close to another ending, though. Wait. Why is this worse than this was? I preferred the plant. This shit is getting dark. Okay, but can I click again? I'll come back and check. Yeah, that would drop me back on the beach. But first off, the button is broken. We're out. We're free. Okay. Yeah. That's definitely an ending. Just walk away in the distance. That's your problem behind yourself. And it's going to turn black, and we're going to get back into the start of the game. Yep. Survive to superliminal at the end. That's it. And you're back. We escaped through the vent.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Back at
decided
the
to go
start.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Follow in the orders. We will try. Here, none of those screens is to be clicked. Yeah, that one, but it's just closing it down. Yep. He went far into sedimentation. Absolutely. New content game.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Again. Who needs a game, huh? Playing the post game before we do play the game. Here, more jumps. We don't have 30 that time.
You
we have
see,
like
Stanley,
45.
I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley
worst.
parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley
Parable 2. Cool. 427. This end
This,
is
you
never
see,
the
isn't
end
this far
again.
superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think
It's
of all
more
the new
money.
territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel, an entirely new experience.
It's like
built from the
Overwatch 2,
ground up.
Faris.
Why there are
You
so
see?
many possibilities. It could go in so
Here?
many different directions. This is what fans
Looks
have
the same.
truly been
And it is
asking
the same.
for.
I love the look of this one, though. Like, yoop. Beep. Can't do shit on that.
Now, to be clear, I haven't
They
quite
should
nailed down
I
what
hope they
exactly
did
the Stanley
a
Parable 2 is going to be. But
a
let's
big
take
hat
look at
using
some of the
all these
features
flashy
I've been
colors and shit.
developing for it. I figure that if I
This
can
definitely
loosely
calls for that.
organize a handful of interesting concepts,
New
then surely the game will sort of
features.
naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game
Those things are just to
development
make
is
you
much
walk for a little
more of
longer.
fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay, this is... These, no screenshot. What are they? Reassurance bucket, office decoration, and infinite hole. I'm gonna go to the reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the
Post
Stanley
behind you
Parable
again.
was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair
Where's the bucket?
in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Okay,
As
bucket.
long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley parable will feel perfectly normal.
So you can
and
barf into
perhaps
something.
even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms.
Yes.
And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution.
Can I take it?
Come on, give it a try.
Yo,
Can you feel it? The glow of
Is the
comfort,
bucket the one
even in
laughing
the face of
or the
crushing
narrator?
despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in
Yeah.
fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
if you
I
put
think
it
that
on your
just
head for
holding
sure.
it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? They do. All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
And I can leave with my bucket. Can I? I now have a bucket. I would love to be
Does
able to
anyone
see
give out
inside it, but
awards
that's
for
fine.
most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Office decorations or infinite. All the other options are collectibles. Free new and easy achievement. Ooh, I'll take it. I'll take it. Locked. Oh, it's not. It's not. I got my bucket. I can get an achievement. Pull the lever. Receive your new achievement. No more steps. Where's the lever?
Now, here's something special. You remember
door
that
did not close
broken
behind me,
test
it's cool.
achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we
me,
hear
please.
you, and I promise it will happen.
This would break Blake. This is like an anti-Blake little thing. So no achievement for us, I guess. Even with the bucket. It didn't change a thing. Here. It's fine. I live well with the fact that it's fine.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we
The
seen
jump
yet?
circle, we already killed that one. Like,
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose
couldn't
it can
resist.
just be a nice decorative piece then.
sitting world champions. What? Okay. It's new. That's a hole in the wall. Button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Nice.
An
We'll go click
epilogue
that.
would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end
Let's
of the...
go here.
Well, for the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players
Too
really
big,
want?
too small, just
And of
right.
course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
Jim.
So, sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this
Thank
button
you.
will say your name, whatever name that is.
Can I
Here,
have Jim
let's
again?
have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along.
We are Jim.
I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim.
I mean,
Whoa,
kind of
hold
easy for
on.
anybody
I
that's
wasn't
watched The
finished
Office.
setting up the
Or the
backstory.
rest.
If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says
We're
somebody
Jim.
else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving
want
to
the
work
skip
as
button
Jim,
again.
playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim,
that's not the Jim I was
rediscovering
imagining.
yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, And finally, dying a slow death at an old age, surrounded by members of your cult.
As Jim.
Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Are you Jim,
If
Faris?
so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
What a
Yes,
thrill!
You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2,
Yeah.
it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
Jim.
Otherwise, soon you'll
Give me
start
my
to lose
button.
all sense
Jim.
of who you actually are.
Jim.
Who are we? Oh, you took away my button? I can leave that place, I guess. I'd like to be able to press on those buttons. But we can't. They don't do shit. Just like stand up. How do we get out of that Stanley
I
Parable
suppose I
2
could
things?
allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
I'll go in the infinite hole, I guess. Like that must be the
Calling
X.
it the
Oh,
Stanley
excellent.
Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley
There's an exit right
Parable
there,
2,
they say.
now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress
That's cute and ugly at the same time. I
oh,
like it.
goodness. Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the collectibles exhibit. You see, there is a surprise I was going to spring on you later. And
I
it
didn't see
involves
shit about the collectible,
collectibles.
but we'll see.
And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the collectibles, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
They try to like sell you stuff because this is what makes a game so much better, right? Collect them all.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no
You can get to it
reward
at some
for
point.
collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your
Boom! 1 out of 6. Collect them all.
God,
Okay.
it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
We did the jump circle. We did everything, I think. I think we went through all the exhibition. Right, sir? You agree with us? His mind looks just right.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know
can't
it's not
even
exactly
sit.
clear yet how
want a
exactly
feature to
these
sit.
features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Probably not.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give
Stanley
you
Parable
the
2.
Stanley Parable 2.
Oh,
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind.
why not?
Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Oh, fudge yes. Now we're talking. Give me all
Who
of
am I
that.
kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And
There's
I
a
do
jump
very much
circle with a
enjoy
falling hole
creating
into it.
gags,
I
but
love
they
it.
don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With
Maybe not the way
respect,
it's done there, but
with
that's
care
okay.
for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could.
They
but it would
changed
need a really
the seating, right?
tremendous
Or just the
title
lighting
screen.
onto
A
them?
title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect.
Stanley's working
Go
hard.
ahead. Take a look.
And we're back in this. Sure. Like Overwatch.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
This is Overwatch, Faris.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employed.
We've done that. Okay. And we're back here.
All of his co-workers
And do
were
we still
gone.
stack the... Oh,
What could it mean? Stanley
It
decided to go to the
looks a
meeting
bit
room.
different.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
here. And I'm telling you, like, we're here on a Sunday again. That's definitely the best explanation I got. There's a freaking line here that wasn't there in the past.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him.
That
begging
time,
him to
416
pick it
is not
up.
open.
Why was he not doing it?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
Left.
left.
Now we're trying to follow the orders. We can do that, I believe. Here.
Yet there was not a single
Bus
person
not
here,
here.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Whoop.
Stanley decided to go up to his... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Not here. Why is that all red? And that's cute. That's a nice burgundy. That's his boss office. and
Stepping
he is
into his
not there.
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked,
Telling you,
unraveled,
it's Sunday.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held
We
from
could have
him?
been there an hour ago.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Let's try it.
2845.
2845.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Yeah, but we do now.
Yet incredibly,
High-level
simply
minigame.
pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Woo! Your boss is Batman and you don't know it. Hello, collectible!
One of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
Okay.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I am.
I know
going to
people that are
savor
definitely
each
having a
and every
good time
moment
picking those up.
You come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay. Next. Now we go down.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yeah?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind
Escape.
Control Facility.
Oh, man. Okay. We said, follow the orders.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this
Am I the
place
only one that got
hold? Stanley thought
forgotten?
to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
This looks honestly scary to some point. You get in a room like that, like, leave.
Now the monitors jumped to
Ooh.
life, their true nature revealed.
104 has
Each bore
been
the
fired.
number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers.
The lives of so many individuals.
I
reduced to
missed.
images
I
on
wanted
a
to check
screen.
like where
And
Stanley's
Stanley,
office was.
one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
470. We're here. Right. Okay. Just reconfirm that like there's no one in our office at the moment, okay? No one in our office at the moment. Next.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job?
We have an
That his
elevator.
emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah. Like
No. He refused
Why not?
to believe it. He
Convince
couldn't
people that they are,
accept
like,
it. His own
tripping
life
over their
in
job, and why
someone
not?
else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
Eh?
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind
Think
to
I
the
saw an exit there.
world?
Yep.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Mind controls
labeled
offline?
with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and
Okay, this
commanded
is
from
basically the
this
same
very
colors as
place.
Inside Out. I like
And
it.
as the cold
What is that
reality of
game?
his
It's
past
called the
began
Stanley
to sink
Parable.
in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible
It
power
feels
over another
like a
human
book of
life.
which you are the hero
For he
with
would
a
dismantle the controls once and
side
for
vibe.
all.
where you get like a narrator that is like always speaking to you while you try to progress through it. You reset from the start often if you reach like bad endings, and there is a bunch of bad endings. I don't know what this pool is about. We'll go take a look. Can I? It's nothing. It's just red and like looking cool. Facility power. What is 5? Wait. Okay, I see some buttons. I'll go try to click them in order. 1, 2. Where are the others? I don't see 3 and 4. Oh, there's one there. 3. Oh, fudge. There's an order to that shit. Okay. Okay, we have 3 first. Like the sound kind of let you know. 3, 1. Okay, 3, 1. I haven't seen 4 yet as well. 3, 1. Then it's not 3. We're gonna go see 4. That is definitely up there. What a drag. I don't know if you guys see it well. I really don't. Where is the access point to that thing? I can't. So we'll hack like 4 is not a thing to click. 3, 4, 5, 2. No, 3, 1, 5, 2. Are those I can reach? I don't know how to reach that up, so I guess screw this. We're going into the facility power. Here we go. Mind control idle. Waiting input.
And when at last he found the source of... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls.
I
you?
did.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control.
Yeah, but
of the
like people will
machine
be
for
more
yourself.
happy
Is that
like
what you
this.
wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
Was I?
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent,
I definitely don't.
Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
So I guess we die.
How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Okay, can I press
It's
up?
your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a
I don't know,
shame
sir.
we have so little time left.
You
to
feel
enjoy
like
it.
a
Mere
dungeon master that
moments
is
until the
unhappy with the
bomb
decision of
goes
its
off.
player.
But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Yeah,
A
that
moment
was
of solace
the
before
whole
you're
thing.
obliterated.
I found the
All
exit
right,
there.
I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Go
I
ahead.
erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
I don't know how to
Other
charge
times,
this.
I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm
see
sure
it.
whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
So you are stuck in
My
a like
goodness,
Matrix-like
only
kind of
34
situation.
seconds left, but I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are
Thank you,
precious
question mark.
additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
The music peaked up though, I like
Oh
it.
dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah?
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button
I
to
think telling
button,
you which one you're supposed to pick
screen
next.
to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These
One.
numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something
One.
here will save me.
This?
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game
Console
can be
disabled?
beaten? One
I don't know.
solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along.
Nope.
It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
For him to
You're
talk
only
to
still
you the
playing
whole
instead
time.
of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
Those are clickables?
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going
Incorrect.
to destroy it first. So
Goodbye,
you
employee
can't.
427.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing.
Just
No
kill
ending.
me, like,
Just you
whatever
being
at that
blown
point.
to pieces. Will you
Give me
cling
the skip
desperately
button
to
you were
your
talking
fair
about.
life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Yay! Well, at least we're free, right? Yeah. We're back here.
All of his co-workers were gone.
All of that because
What
I
could it
forgot to
mean?
follow one
Stanley
instruction,
decided to
which
go
was
to
to
the
close
meeting
the mind
room.
control
Perhaps
machine.
he had simply missed a memo.
Go. I forgot the code for the thing. I think it's
Maybe Stanley
2845.
would never
2845.
pick up the bucket.
Charge.
A lonely bucket, lonely. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Continue. Continue. I'll talk back with the broom because I can. Nearby a fireplace inside of a sequel exhibit. Is this somewhere both red and blue? A private but smelly place for an important person. Your boss's toilet? Oh, that changed. What makes them float in the air? It's now yellow instead of blue. Piglies are hard to find. Follow clues provided by employee 416. Nice.
Oh no, oh no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I mean, I don't know who wrote the game, okay? But it's messy in a good way.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety.
Not even
isn't
sorry, sir.
healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
They make you wait by listening to like soft songs.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Why everything turns black? Because the things are closed there. There's no little bubblehead that time because we took it. And we go down straight into the mind control facility and we press off. That's the plan. Somewhere both red and blue. This is basically where you're supposed to get those little bubblehead, I guess. Go.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Escape!
Mind Control Facility.
Okay. I'm 427. I'm not 170, by the way.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought
There are
to
those
himself.
that are like
Did he have the
all
strength
fudged
to
up
find
above
out?
the place. We go. Check for 427 if someone is in my office.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
You know, that's
Stanley
just
scanned
nothing.
the
Hey, Fitz, how you doing?
lives of so many individuals reduced
Sir, done
to
for
images
passing
on
by.
the screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this
Some of them are
place,
just like
their
straight in the
freedom
sky because I
meant
guess
nothing.
they are close to the zeros. Yeah. The zeros just skips ahead on like everything else at top of them. They live their life atop. There's two that are just an extra down there.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe.
You
it
fired
couldn't be
employees.
true. Had
Like a bear.
Stanley really been under someone's control?
I would like to know
all
which
this
one though.
time?
Let's check.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring
601?
job? That his emotions had
104?
been manipulated to accept it blindly?
That's it. Here we go. They don't fire much.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
Never.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it?
Same speech as last
Was
time.
it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Now we go and we press off in the backup
But here was the
facility.
proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad
Or
or
content.
content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
This guy looks for
And as the
off.
cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery...
Okay.
blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had
Ish.
defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Then the
Freedom
narrator
was
is still
mere
speaking in your head,
moments
though.
away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Oh,
How had he been freed from the machine's
that is a
grasp?
door.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
Woo!
For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he
That's a
needed
very
to
weird
know.
place to place your
It
facilities,
was
and also
perhaps
it looked bigger
the
like a
only
second
thing
ago.
worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
But if I do that, don't I just follow what this guy is saying? Aren't I playing against what I'm... The idea is to get out of being mind controlled, but this thing tells me, like, you step through the door.
Stanley
So you're
felt
still
the
listening.
cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
A good ending? Here? Again. Yeah. Meeting today.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
We'll
this
go
was
here.
not the correct way to the meeting room. And
Well, we'll
Stanley
take the
knew it
shortcut
perfectly
back.
well. Perhaps he wanted to
The
stop
normal
by
path.
the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a... But eager to get
That was
back
so
to
worth
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Keep on going. So. We didn't try the escape. I'll go for the escape that time. Yeah, that whole place is not about them. I like it. I like that there's an image showing you like where's supposed to be your next one. Like in the toilet. I'll check if my... Hey! The broom closet has been closed.
Coming to a staircase,
Not sure I'm
Stanley
agreeing with
walked
this.
upstairs to his boss's
Here?
office.
Executive bathroom for one of those bubblehead.
Another
Thank you.
miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there
Important
really
stuff,
must
you
be
say?
a snappier name for these things. What about
Mini
mini
stands.
stands? Stanley figs. Oh,
Stanlerine.
what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
This shit's as long. Here. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crime, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Cool. You can do both, right? And I think the toilet just like closes. Hello? The executive elevator. That door was closed earlier, I believe. Okay. I don't know if I want to go up or down now. Let's go up. Let's chill. It's so long that you kind of feel like they didn't plan what's coming up next. Why is this paper so glowy? Recommendation from the Oversight Committee. Hi, Mizoku. How are you doing? Those are a strong glow in blue, and I can't pick them up. I've heard shit. What? It comes back to the same. We're gonna have a little bit more music again.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway.
Thank you. He
Kill
starts to understand our
please.
thing. Finding you. You are not. I am gonna be. We're going to see some family in the at the end of the afternoon after the nap, and we're spending the night with them. So I will not be able to be there with you tonight. That's why we decided to make a little extra in this morning for you guys. I want to cancel you out of all your captains, just a part of it, you know. Usual hours of the cap. Anyway, like during the nights, most of you are also going to be with your family, so you won't have to
Stanley walked
choose.
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
You mean
Facility.
escape?
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Is the door did the door lock behind me? I won't believe what the narrator says, because the narrators definitely went crazy when we decided to keep like the mind control on. But at that point, I don't want to trust him.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get
See?
back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a
Conscious,
conscious,
concerted effort to walk forward. Yeah.
and willingly confront his death.
Possibly. That looks hot. Yeah. Well.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched
Nice question
closer
mark.
and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is.
There's a walking bridge on the right,
Perhaps
which
his
kind
death
of
was no great
give us the
loss,
impression that we could
but
run away.
plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly
What do you have
accepted
on for your
this
day, Barua
violent
Mizoku?
end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Don't waste the die.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as
Nope.
Stanley was led helplessly into
Question
the enormous
mark?
metal jaws. In a single visceral
We now have a
instant,
narrator's narrator?
Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
This sounds uncomfortable. Whoop. Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I prefer that voice.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death
It's more
becomes
calming.
meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now?
The two doors.
Do you see that Stanley was already
Was the very
dead
first
from the
concrete piece of
moment
Stanley
he hit
Parable's
start?
design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the... That's nice. We're in a good time. Okay. The office. Button sound. I think I love the first one. Here. The computers. The office. Okay. I haven't seen Warzone. Realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Funny. Here. This is... Okay. Happy badass. Hey, you have the right question here, sir. Narrator's email. I like that. There is definitely like a big self-deprecating humor into this thing that I love. I mean, and if I want the exit from this room, not that there is no charm to it, but
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
I guess they mean
No,
like narrator
perhaps
and
not.
Stanley.
Sometimes
player?
these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I really wonder if the game gives you a different ending or different like progression if you decide to just run away here. You know what I mean? Ooh, this is now Missy. Hello.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
There's a part of me that doesn't know if this story has an end.
Stanley, pick up the bucket.
What the hell? Oh, I didn't. I
Stanley
missed the
picked up
bucket.
the bucket.
I'm so sorry. Here, I got my reassuring bucket now with me. Here?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Does it change a thing to have the bucket with you later? Here, we have 3 of them. Both red and blue. Oh, fudge. I needed to go like against the grain here. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies. There's something to do with stairs. So probably going downstairs. There's gonna be one. Hey, broom closet.
Oh, Stanley.
I want the broom
Can you
too.
feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
Can I leave the
I
bucket?
can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say.
That is
here.
still my
It's
bucket, I
supposed to
guess.
go with
I'll
the other
wait for
cleaning
it to be done.
supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how
I
hard
just
it must
can't
be,
hand it
given
to
the
it
pressure
anyway.
that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now.
So
but
next.
you have
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs
Something
to
to
the
do with
boss's
stairs.
office.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanleys
Fig
and
leaves makes
Figlies.
sense
What
way
do you
more.
think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner
I
of
love
your screen
Figlies.
go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Blue and red is the place with the 2 doors, for sure. Not exactly sure where you get your thing, but yeah. And still opens. This still opens. Yeah. Now he's just opening me the door.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Yeah.
Was it that the
Sure.
bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Okay.
Yes.
Keep on.
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Those fig leaves would make more sense as a farmable, like with the tooltip and stuff. If I already played the game before the expansion, like before the Super Deluxe version.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Get in there. That shit exploding in the back of me.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight
definitely
ahead through the
startled some
large
people.
door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Okay. Is there a price to like saving the bucket and taking it outside?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Here. I also wonder if like someone that want to take all the time they need to check all those crates
and Stanley nearly dropped
and
the
find
bucket
someone
in shock.
living inside one of them.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
That basically is a thing like in most offices as well, so let's not be surprised. Not that way, not that intense, but you know.
Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Thank you, Bucket.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been
nuts.
told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
Here?
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Did he say feeble brain?
He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
It's basically our little Wilson. Yeah.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the
mind control set up, negativity, blah blah
Stanley
blah.
decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power.
We press off and we leave, but with the bucket that time. Bucket staying outside
Stanley
if you do
and
this.
The bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
Yeah?
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door.
What kind of bucket do you wish to be, Bucket?
To learn to roller skate.
It's important to me,
Stanley
please.
wanted to sneeze in
Let me
every
know.
country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
I thought it was going back up, but it's just because I was too close.
What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
Can I just yeet the bucket?
An unbearable silence filled the room.
Like we free the bucket, but we get stuck?
Uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
I'm yeeting the bucket up.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No,
okay.
no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms.
Okay.
Not while this building has anything to say about it.
We're trapped.
Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
We do.
To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I?
I will probably die.
Very soon now.
Because I'm not going to have food.
He was about to find out.
I think we have a shrimp incoming. I might be wrong. Yo. And they don't let me pick the bucket anymore. Oh, wait. Phone is ringing.
message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere.
How?
Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Cool. That is counterintuitive, but that's fine. Can I click on it again? Oh. Okay.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms.
Can't leave
and a
with the
wave
bucket.
of
Now we know.
comfort rushed over him.
And we don't have the extra input we can put on the computers anymore somehow. I don't like that. Feels reassuring to have like some sort of progress in a way. No. Oh.
Stanley clutched the bucket
Okay.
tightly to his
Blue and red
chest
door.
and entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling
Blue
him
and red
that
room
the
now.
employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No,
Definitely.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left
Here?
to go back to the meeting room.
Not. Do not
No.
lie.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Okay. Blue and red door was down that path when the
Good,
cargo lift gets
said
me.
the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Dang.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think
That
about this
bucket can
obvious
definitely
fact.
talk. Ah!
He was firmly convinced, but Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms.
Some ways
How
to
deeply
die.
touching.
Yeah, that was not planned. It just fell.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Back to the bucket.
The confusion and the chaos all
if we have
seemed
inputs
to
to
melt
put, but we
away
don't.
as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Woo! Thank you, bucket, for being here. 416 is gone.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
Right.
And this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the
Thank you, bucket.
employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket
Here?
turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No.
Remotely.
Never mind. The bucket
Now we
was
keep on
wrong.
going.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
No.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The
And
cargo
that time, let's
lift.
not fail
Good,
that jump.
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
Because red and
There's
blue
something up
door
there
there.
I
In
need
that
you to
area,
do.
we did not go to at all.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed
that
him, of
fail
course,
that time.
because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Nope. Or did he? 2B1. Okay.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point."
I'm bringing my
Stanley,
bucket
how
with
could
me,
you
sir.
think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
That is not a
I
bucket.
suppose that
That
would
is a
explain
broom
lot
now.
about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
Okay.
Please, step in here for a moment.
Okay. I definitely had a choice. Right? Is this a
Now
bucket?
then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
We'll see.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
How dumb can I be, though?
Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
I'd say yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Nice.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
I feel like no matter what you answer, he's going to tell you that you're wrong.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
A big vibe is that no matter what you answer, if you say no, they're going to be like, yes, it is indeed a bucket. So you can only be wrong here. And he's going to be like, you're too stupid to know what a bucket is.
Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
I'm confused. Not sure.
Item 4.
It can contain stuff. That can contain gas. There is a gas bucket inside that
thing. It's an
thing.
enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick.
Could be a
How
bucket.
on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible.
I can put some stuff
Let's
in it.
just move on to the next one.
Even liquid one.
Is this a bucket?
That could definitely be a bucket again, but for gas.
Correct.
See?
This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket?
That as well. Wrong.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Okay. Yay.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me
Great
see.
thing.
It should be around here somewhere.
No, it's in my hand. Yes.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing?
Can I leave?
Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Therefore, what I have in
You know
my hand
what?
is not a bucket.
I'm
it's
too
nothing.
confused to even sort it out.
But if nothing is a
I've
bucket,
lost all
it's a
sense of
bucket.
perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat...
Am I a
embarrassed.
bucket?
Do any of us know what a
No,
bucket
because I'm
is?
something, you see?
Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry.
I would love for you to be a
I'm
bucket.
going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
How are we dealing with our
What
issues
happened?
now?
Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Maybe.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
Am I a bucket?
And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
I'm not a
This is
bucket.
wonderful news. We're not buckets.
Ooh, but
Yes, I actually
we're not
feel much
nothing
more
either,
at ease
so
right
like
now.
we can't
It's
be a bucket.
delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything.
Not the
put
real
back
ending.
all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket.
Everything's
but
a
if
bucket.
you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Technically a bucket. I can like hold liquid. I'm a bucket. You're a bucket. That's great.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms.
Warmth.
With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Okay. I got my bucket again.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way
I want to go to the red
room,
and blue.
but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was.
We're gonna go to
Had
that
the bucket
area
turned
where
out to be
the
correct?
lift is
Was
bringing
it
us.
Never mind.
And afterward, I need to go back to the red and blue again.
Stanley took
You
the
know?
door on his left to go
Let's go,
back to
bucket.
the meeting
Tell me
room.
where I gotta go. Here.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go
We'll wait the whole
somewhere
lift
else.
ride.
The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need
Who
you
the
to
hell
do.
would run a cargo
Stanley
lift?
did not
to-
question
Ah,
why or how this
fudge
bucket
me.
was speaking to him.
I just found
It
one of
should
the
have
bubble
alarmed
head.
him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
We'll get it
But
next
Stanley
round.
chose not to think about this obvious fact.
It's fine.
He was firmly convinced that the bucket
There's also
had
an
spoken
excess
to
right
him,
there.
and he unthinkingly
Good
did
to know.
whatever the bucket asked.
Here?
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Nope.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Woo! This looks safe.
Now pick up the phone.
The bucket trapped me.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
Where's my
Once
bucket?
upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
We are a bucket. I'm a bucket. Bring me my shrimp.
In the bucket?
Hello! You are also a bucket. You can hold liquid for a little while, can't you? Not long, though. You sit with Dad? Here. I hope there's nothing traumatizing in this game, but for now it seems chill. Out of, like, a nuclear explosion. Which is not gonna be chill for a long time, I know. I'll check in the fridge. What the hell is this place? What are you? I did not listen to what the guy was saying. I don't know. You'll play it. You'll understand how. You'll play it at night. You can play like it during one night. It's confusing. I'm not sure what I'm playing, and it's been like close to 2 hours. I've done stuff. Yeah, try to play this game, Kim, and try to get your objectives, your completionist like thingy.
I'm not completionist.
I need to get out of this place. How?
Door?
No.
No. Throw yourself out of the window.
Okay, I did not listen to what the guy was saying. I'm gonna sit. I found my bucket. It's all good. Take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable
We got
Reassurance
it.
bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship.
Good.
It doesn't
I have my
talk
bucket.
and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Fine. Press P to take me back home with you. No, we're good where we. No, I don't think we're good where we are. I'm bringing back my bucket back
Lately,
home.
I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over
Okay,
an
like,
inanimate metal object.
it's a reassuring
I want to say something
bucket.
to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll
Word it
listen to
out.
me.
Have to go back to work.
Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley,
Hey?
can you hear me?
Yeah?
Listen to me.
Yeah?
It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it will ever truly do for
It is
you
more
effectively transfer a liquid from one
reliable
location
in my
to a
life
different
than
location.
you have
That's
been
it.
since the start.
It doesn't do anything else.
I love the bucket. Hello, shrimp. Okay. Don't listen to the loud man.
See, he's not listening. He's still
My
taking orders
bucket.
from the bucket. You know, once upon a time, it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened
I did not
to.
trust
Now
you since
all
the
he
start.
cares about is his
That is a
awful
lie.
Bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. It's sad.
That is getting
He doesn't
weird.
need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of
Shiny bucket.
Hmm.
He's
Well,
starting to love the
this
bucket.
does have a
He's gonna
nice
steal me my
shine to
bucket.
it.
I'm gonna get my bucket stolen.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier.
If you hear some
more
weird breathing,
capable
it's
of transporting liquid.
her.
Like it would be better at moving an amount of
Don't
water
do
from
that.
one room to another.
M.
Oh my God, what am I saying?
My bucket is like the best worker around the place.
It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
I.
Oh no.
Will they make me click my whole keyboard?
For the bucket. No, 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 no.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah,
Why
yeah,
do
yeah.
I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks.
Is the narrator
What's wrong
me
with
as well,
I
by
don't
the way?
understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes.
Just take away my bucket if you don't want me to play with it,
in
you know?
this troublesome situation. Stanley, give
me the bucket.
Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Close your eyes. Don't hear the voice anymore. Right?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind.
Okay.
The bucket was wrong.
The bucket is back to like
Stanley took
the state where it was the first time we
back
picked
to the
it.
meeting room.
But
No.
before I go there,
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
I count from
the
here.
Cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
but there is a way, like go there, that I don't know about.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift.
It's
all the way
probably
to
like the red
top.
and blue thing.
There's
It's giving
something up
you
there I
back,
need you
like
to do.
it's bringing you back here, something
Stanley
like that.
did not question why or how
Feels
this
like it would
bucket
make
was
sense.
speaking to him.
Now,
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But
Yeah,
Stanley chose
but
not
that
to think
bucket
about
can.
this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had
go in
spoken to
here,
him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
and back here, but I want to bring the bucket that time. I would like for the game to have like a button to get rid of the bucket.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past
We
this
agreed
point."
together that
Stanley,
buckets are
why
not
did you think
buckets,
it was
and we
okay
are
to bring a
buckets.
bucket here? Unless
But everything is a
one of
bucket
the
and nothing
problems
is.
that you actually don't know what
I
is
should
a
be able to
bucket
go
and
through
what
that door
isn't.
with or without my
I suppose that
nut
would
bucket.
explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness.
I'm gonna go
I
back
think
through all
we
the
have to
questions
do
that he
something
asked
about
earlier.
it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game
Okay.
if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is
While he's saying this, I'm
dependent
gonna
on
be
your
right back. I'm gonna go and like
understanding is and
drop
isn't
off the baby
a bucket.
downstairs because she wants to
Please,
like.
step in here for a moment.
So we're back. Sorry for that little delay. So we're back to is this a bucket, and we're gonna say no all the time
Now
that
then,
time.
I'm going to run you through some tests.
'Cause we did that part already.
And you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need
I'd
to
love
know
for this to go
about
faster.
what is or is not.
If I get all the
bucket.
right answer, is he
Okay,
happy?
Let's begin. Item 1. Is this a
It's an
bucket?
hologram.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
3D printing.
Correct. It is a 3D.
Let's see if we remembered everything,
creation of a
basically.
bucket, not an actual bucket.
Next one is.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
It is.
Correct. This is a
Next
bucket.
is the tractor. Will I be able to free the bucket for the right
Item 4.
answers?
Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay?
Yay. That's a bucket.
Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 6.
Yes.
Is this a bucket?
Because both.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
7 was what? 7 was the last one?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
It's nothing.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes
Everything's
it sound
a
like I'm
bucket.
saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No. I think we went for all the
You know
right
what?
answer at that time.
I'm too confused to even sort it out.
Perfect.
I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere
So we get the
moments
same
ago I could
ending no
answer
matter
this
the answer we
question
give,
with
even though we have
confidence.
like all the greens
Yet
win.
now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is?
Am I a
Am
bucket?
I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
Yeah?
I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship
I can click both.
apart.
That's great.
I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay.
We're back for the same ending we had like 2 ago's. I'm leaving the bucket that time. And back to red and blue.
Is everything gone?
Hopefully we get
Where
like
did
one of those
everything
little
disappear? Wait,
bubblehead.
was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh
Yeah.
God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I am not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
I'm a
Oh,
conscience.
this is wonderful news.
I hope.
We're not buckets.
Something like that.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And
Okay.
we'll know that it's
And that time I will
all
not
a
take the bucket.
But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information
I don't know
might
if the
do for
real
us.
ending is supposed to be with the
Alright,
bucket, by
here
the
we
way.
go.
Like, it isn't clear to me. Do I take the bucket and take, like, all the wrong answers, like I did the first time? To, like, be put in another
All
game?
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Skip the
he had
bucket.
simply missed a memo.
Now, keep on going. Go on the right.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not
I'm not
the
speaking with
correct
the
way
bucket
to the
that time.
meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
Yeah.
first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But
Yeah.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
There's definitely people speedrunning this game somehow.
Stanley was so bad at following directions.
Freaking the
that he
shit out every
remembered
time
he
there is,
wasn't
like,
5
some-
years ago.
Okay. I got the bubblehead. Right? Unless I fall.
You're
You me?
getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the
And I think I know,
figures. Very
where the
soon,
last is.
You'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and
Woo.
that will be it. We'll be different.
And what will
people
be your
by then.
prize?
Different in the sense that we used to have
None of them.
and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Every time you change the name of that thing, he makes it worse, I believe. Okay.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path
that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office.
We should not listen to any recorded message. That's what they say, right?
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that
Can I click back on it?
All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all
No,
just in
maybe.
Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and
Not really. But where's our exit now, sir?
It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us.
I mean,
now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your
here.
fault.
Oh, back to the start. Heading back to the start. Yeah, again.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Skipping the bucket, going to the red and blue path,
Decided to go to the
picking the last
he had simply missed a memo.
Stanley is Stangerine, Figurinely, that thing, Figurely, Figly, picking the last Figly, and getting back to the office to see what had changed. Probably absolutely nothing, but we don't know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to
Yeah.
the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
Here.
admire it. It was okay.
Yep. It
But
was
eager to
okay.
get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
The elevator next.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's
Yeah.
incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Let's go.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this
The fact that there
time.
was like a crisis with the
There's someone
explosive and
you've been
everything kind of
neglecting, Stanley.
tells you that you
Someone
don't want to
who-
trust them at all.
Really? I was in
Yeah.
the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want
But that
something
time-
bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really
We don't have the
do
bucket, so
want
we
to
can keep
help
on
you,
going.
to show you something beautiful.
Red and blue.
Look, let me prove it.
Yes.
Let me prove that I'm on.
And there it is.
There you go.
The last
Stiggly Wiggly.
Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it.
Yep.
Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I
Sure.
would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and
And we can't have that.
So, instead I'll just say, it's done. Well
We're all done here.
And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Getting
Now
looped in the
listen
game.
carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Let's go there.
Ah, perhaps you misunderstood.
Blue.
Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly.
I'll go blue and I'll
Stanley
take the
walked-
third
All right,
option, I
fine,
guess.
Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Then we go back. We wait for him to like do his little crisis.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically
Definitely.
for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Let's
There
go.
we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
Kind
Go
of.
ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
I think I went there the last time, didn't I? Yeah, I did, right? Yeah, we went here. No! Okay, too bad.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell
Okay.
me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
The more it goes and the more weird I feel about this. So I know I gave 4 earlier, but now we're going to give 3.
Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does
Thank
that
you.
sound good? Think we can do that? Yes?
I try.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take
Nothing into it. We've done the start of that thing. The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. That's definitely the kind of game that wants that, right? No. No. Did someone stop like straight when the game started? This is you. I haven't been online for 7 hours. That's a lie. Okay. Now, get here. It brings you back to the same place. Okay, that's a meme at that point.
Would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
Now, really?
Again, honest answers, please.
Boop.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a
And we let that one
opportunity
skip, and
to give it some
we
playtesting.
go back to the start. Can we just go back to the start? No.
Look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Boot.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards
Let him
danger.
crawl and
You
die.
Press the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's
Here?
a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think
That's
the
basically what
overall
Momo does in a
really
normal day,
changes.
okay?
But of course, the message of the game only becomes
Like, that's
clear
real life.
once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
I am
Be sure to keep
almost
notes on your
sure
experience.
there's going to be a specific, like, few lines. Some specific few lines
Heartless
when you
bastard.
when you play this for
Did
4
you do
hours.
it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter,
Both.
well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was
Here.
extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
I really wonder
This seems like it'll work.
if there is a real ending to the game. At that point,
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
yeah.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man,
Oh.
spying on innocent civilians below you from
We
up high
already
in your
reached
watchtower.
the ending, which
Perhaps for
was
some
like
sort
the
of twisted
follow the story
erotic
kind of
purpose.
orders and leave
Yes,
without
that
having the
must
bucket
be.
with you.
What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything.
I'm gonna
about
check
this
because I
game,
think we got
Stanley.
most
And it
ending
seems
already
there's
then.
even more.
Let's just go
Come,
back up
Let's venture
and see.
upward and see what else is out there.
We have reluctance. A coward instantly requires the player to close the office door from room 427. That's funny. Okay. So, there's an ending that is just like close the door of the 427. Just don't play. That's fine. That's fine. We leave here, we activate the thing, and we check which one we have. But we've done most ending. If I understand correctly, basically that game is not supposed to be like going
Yes,
forever.
It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Wall end. So heaven ending.
Stanley, what a close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow.
Okay.
You just go in any...
Input sequence was another ending.
Heavens, we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Done a bunch of
I
ending
think
already.
This will be just the thing.
Insane ending. Escape pod we haven't done. Okay, so
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big...
There's a
box
bunch of
featuring
ending we
a
haven't
wonder.
gotten,
There
but
isn't
there's a
any
bunch we've
possibility
had.
that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Countdown ending we got. Freedom ending we got.
Okay, so what exactly do
All
we do
right,
here?
door ending
Let's
path.
see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun.
Let's
We shall
set
run the
ourselves up
bases and do
like
a
this.
touchdown together. Yeah.
No, it doesn't
I
keep
think
on
surely
going.
we must. Okay, Stanley.
Okay.
Here's the ball. Have fun.
Following that route, it is possible to unplug the phone rather than answering it, which will perplex the narrator.
Hold on. What are you doing?
Okay.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you.
The heart ending with the baby.
Without me, you can't do it. You know that.
The game ending. Ultra Deluxe Edition we already got. Sequel we already got. Okay. Figurine ending. You're getting stuck into an ending the next time you reset. Okay. The reassurance bucket. I don't know, man. I think we already got that one. Pretty sure about that. We need to find the light. Get in there. Come back. I think it's left here. Yeah, probably sure. Rather sure. Yep. We get in there. We click on the thing. We come back and we're dead. Don't understand the purpose of the game nor the point. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly how it is, Kim. That's what this game is. It's to make you question purpose. Yeah? It's confusing. Here we go.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos.
That's going to be enough of it. I think we've got like...
That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes.
Most of it, right?
There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
I think most of the joke
will be here soon.
Is about
Very
how this
soon.
game
I can wait.
never really finish. And you can basically redo all the missions, but with the bucket instead of without the bucket. All the endings, without or with the buckets. Yeah.
Stanley, I'm sorry.
Wait.
But I have to put a pause on things.
Wait.
It's those figurines. Those figglers.
Ooh.
I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most
So there's an
intensely
objective.
fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness?
I don't know, but this
Yes, I
definitely is a
was
lie.
supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing
After
more
that
than to
ending, we
visit the
finish.
figurines. Just one more time.
So we reached that end, and we probably call it a night. Stanley Parable. There was a figure in here at the time, wasn't there?
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the
If you
screen,
touch it,
but how could we know for certain?
do they all
We
respawn?
were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
You've just went over 6. That's magic. And the world behind us switched. They make you go
And
through
here
them?
was the second Stanley. You found this one all on your own just by poking around behind the boss's office. You
Aren't
did
we
that,
always
Stanley.
do that?
I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone six.
Do they show them in the
But
order in which you
continue
pick them?
to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Woo! Bus
Okay,
bathroom
let's do a
under
little
stairs.
Quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember?
I did bus first. Pretty certain.
Hey, that's exactly right.
Watch.
It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up.
Then we
and
had,
after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be
blinking.
surprised.
Then we
After all,
had,
science
stairs?
tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
And after stairs, we
Let's
had...
see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say
No.
I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No? Next one was not vent, though.
This was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In
Okay.
fact, because this one is particularly
I skipped
special
the
to me,
pink
I
room.
made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Okay. I wonder if like it's you doing it or anybody else's. No. Oh, it didn't happen like that. That was way cooler. Then you leave. Okay. Another miss. Yeah.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot
Kinda.
of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Fair. Wait. Did that pad open up? Yeah, it did. But I didn't get my 4th one. That was supposed to be under the stairs. Okay, right there. This game cringed you way too much.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red
Truth is, though,
doors. This memory is the most distinct.
picked the 4th
clear in
one
my
because it
mind,
didn't,
perhaps
like,
because
it's not the
it
order in
was
which
the
I got that one.
happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes,
That's all of them.
They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
And then I went blue. But I'm gonna go red. That doesn't change shit, eh? I didn't get my
And then
4th one.
there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing
That's
left
great.
to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Here we go.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't
Good.
there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
I agree with this. Can I still get like extra figurines?
Okay, yes. The room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I
Good.
must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I
What
want
changed?
more. And
This one,
here's
I'm
where
not
I
taking
made
the
that
pink zone
video.
because the
Don't
pink
you
zone was
remember the video
actually
we
a
took?
lie.
Yes, I love that video.
I'm happy they made it go faster. The pink room again. But the pink room like was under the stairs
Still
and we
don't
didn't
remember the
come
pink
here.
room, Stanley. Still no memory of
I'm not
this one.
touching
A
this.
Good room though, a solid room.
Here. Toilette.
these really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very
Truly,
glad
though, what
we
we're living
resisted
through
the
here
temptation.
is
Next one.
joy of finding some of these, you know? Yeah, we had to make a pick, but. Can't you have both? No, you can't. Okay. Go wrong, they're just like probably telling you you're wrong and you go the other way or something like that. Now, behind the boss's office.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
And the last one that looks good.
This
like
is
hyper
the
shiny
very
and godly.
first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlarines.
Figlarines.
I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep
This is a
going.
portal
What
exit.
else
No,
is
this
there?
is the
What
exit that
came
they use
before
in
this?
the... Good. Collectibles.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. The time
But now it's the
wasted on
best
those
thing.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
They come back to the same and we're back home.
And before everything else, there was your office.
It's a violent go back
Is there
to like
anything else?
memory lane.
Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each
I pressed
decision with
buttons.
profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to.
So Stanley
imagine
does not
I had
exist.
companionship.
Stanley is like the
Stanley
narrator's
for a wonderful
bucket.
companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can
Clicking
do
on
it.
buttons.
I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay,
I
here
am
we go.
uncertain.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Let's go. And we're gonna close the door and see if like you make something special of that ending.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy.
You accept fate.
Forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days. Had years gone by? He no
Someone
longer
finds
had
your
the
buddy at
ability
the
to
end?
tell.
Again.
But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive.
Like on Monday.
Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
And it relaunches. I think we went full round around this. We got a lot of ending, maybe not all of them, but I think it's going to be enough for us. It's about like 2 hours and 30 of us going through the same hoops. But on this, thanks a ton for everybody that did watch. If you are still on YouTube and watching that thing, please drop a like and subscribe. That would support the channel a ton. We are still trying to like making our way to our 500th subscriber. So there's that. It's going to be time for us to set down our hankers. I wish you that a win will always be on the back of your cell. I'll see you guys on the other side. And Merry Christmas, or whatever you are like making a party out of during the winter vacation. Take care.